um, with projects using the Scottish Longitudinal Study. I'm Chris Dibben. I'm a Professor of Health Geography at the University of Edinburgh, but also the Director of the Scottish Longitudinal Study. So I'm very pleased to welcome you this afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to the Dome, this wonderful building within National Records of Scotland. I think it's quite appropriate for the Scottish Longitudinal Study, as it is based on the sort of core statistics of National Records of Scotland, the census and the civil registration system. So that's the register of birth, deaths and marriages, because if we look up, we have 150 years of the Scottish population around us, and that's what the core of what the SLS is achieving, linking these types of data to better understand the Scottish population. So I'm very pleased that we're able to use this room. Just to say briefly what we're hoping to do this afternoon. It's really to, as I said, it's a celebration of 10 years of work. And within that, we just wanted to highlight three aspects that hopefully you'll find useful. You'll see at the end there's a time for discussion, and we're at a useful point, I think, at which to reflect on where we've been, where we've got to, and where we might go. So we particularly welcome then your feedback at that point. But so to give you a sort of a background then, we're going to look at the SLS itself, what its history. Well, we're going to look at, and we're very pleased that the other longitudinal studies in England and Wales and Northern Ireland are here as well to talk a bit about themselves, and also the hub that Fiona Cox in particular has developed, which is an overall point of contact in terms of using the LSs singly or together. We then turn really to how the SLS is being used and how it is used. And that's where we really dedicated most of the time. And we're very pleased that researchers that are outside the SLS but have used our resources have agreed to give some talks, which hopefully will illustrate nicely the kind of research potential from the data. So really key pieces of research then hopefully illustrate the kind of impact that the study has had. But before I hand over to Tim Ellis, Registrar General, who I'm very pleased is going to speak next, I just want to, at this point, then acknowledge a big group of people. Actually, many of them are in this room, and in fact, I'm looking around, I think a lot of the people that have been involved in the SLS are here. So first of all, the funders and the supporters, and I guess the principal funder being the Economic and Social Research Council, but also National Records of Scotland through in-kind support and broader support of the use of their data have been particularly important. Then a large set of staff, and I won't start naming people because I'll miss people, but from different organisations. So, for example, from National, so the NHS, NHSCR, the Register General, so the Register of GP practices, census staff, vital events staff within NRS, and then staff within the National Health Service through Information Services Division and within education have all worked together to produce the study. And obviously, we're looking at 10 years of research, but actually the study started longer ago than that. There's about 15 years of work, and obviously people have come and gone, so there's a large number of people that have contributed to that. But then, of course, finally, the researchers, and we're going to hear from some of the researchers today, but without the use of the data set and therefore the impact that it has, then this study would, of course, be rather pointless. So thanks to everybody. Just finally to say, we'd be very pleased if you do tweet about this event, and if you do tweet, that this is the hashtag that we've got for the event.